Devin Alexander, and I make your favorite foods. And I make them in a way that you can keep eating them and still be healthy. It's always a blast to be invited to a friend's house, but boy is it awkward when you find nothing you can eat. I have a great solution that will make you look like a master chef. Make something. Your friends will think you're gracious and you won't go hungry. Let's get started with a Thai peanut noodle salad with grilled chicken. With my version, you'll save 205 calories and 24 grams of fat. I'm just gonna pull my chicken from the refrigerator and some bean sprouts. Put these over here. Now my chicken, I've pounded it flat and I've already put some chili garlic sauce on it, just a touch of olive oil and a little bit of salt. Get my tongs, throw these on the grill. Make sure your grill is nice and hot. I'd already preheated it. When you're cooking meats, you always want to make sure it's hot on the outside. If it gets too hot, you can turn it down, but you want the juices to get sealed inside. Okay. Put that in the sink. Now, I've also made my noodles already. You just follow the package directions on these, and then you strain them and run them under cold water, and then I'm just going to mix them with just a bit of sesame oil, which I have right here, the roasted kind. Now that's just about 2 teaspoons. You don't need a lot, you just don't want your noodles to stick together. Get that in there. Now I'm gonna mix together a sauce. That'll just keep these from sticking. Mix together this sauce, get my whisk here. I have some reduced fat peanut butter. I think a spatula might be easier for that, till I get actually whisking. Reduced fat peanut butter, soy sauce, some honey, which makes this nice and sweet. You've probably had this dish at a Thai restaurant at some point. Ginger, but you know, it can be so full of sodium. Garlic. Chili garlic sauce, which I love. I put that sometimes in low-fat mayonnaise to give it a little bit of a kick, and then you can't get the aftertaste from the mayonnaise. A little bit more roasted sesame oil, but only a teaspoon. Some rice wine vinegar, and some fresh squeezed lime juice. Mix these all up. You just want to whisk this until it's smooth. And you may notice this is very reminiscent in Thai restaurants. If you've ever had the chicken satay, it's a peanut dipping sauce, though mine is a little bit thinner. Okay, there we go. Get that together. As I was saying, Thai food and Asian food can be very high in sodium. It's impossible to get all the sodium out of it, but I think I did a pretty good job. I cut it by about 1/3 here. That's all nice and mixed up, ready to go. And this part you can do the day before. So if you are going to a party, it's great because you don't have to worry about doing everything at the same time. But your veggies you might want to chop the same day. So we'll put some carrots in here. They add great color. Some cucumbers do the same thing. Both of them give it crunch. And then some mung bean sprouts. Some green onions. And I usually save a few to put on the top here. And then we'll leave those for the garnish. So toss this together. Make sure my chicken breasts aren't getting overdone. Okay, there we go. Ah, nice grill marks. That was perfect timing. Sometimes I think I just sense things like that. There we go. Great. Very nicely. Okay, get that, and we're gonna mix in our sauce. I'm gonna use all this sauce, all that sauce in there. Again, we don't wanna cheat ourselves. I feel like I scrape bowls a lot. I'm used to cooking low fat, but I want all the good stuff in there. Toss that together. Now this dish, I think is so great. You know, you go to a friend's house and you just really want to make sure that there's something there you can eat. So you can take this And then when you get there, once you put the chicken in, it's going to have tons of protein in it. So you get your protein, you get your carbohydrates, you get your veggies. It's all here. And even if there's nothing else you can eat, you have a whole meal. A little bit more tossing here. I used to make this. I was working in an office for a while, and I would take it for lunch, and people would always be like, "Where on earth did you get that? It looks so good." Sorry, I made it. Okay, I'm going to put about 1/6 of this in this bowl. This makes 6 servings. And then, as I said, I usually put some green onions on there, or some cilantro looks great. Some black sesame seeds always look good. Let's get a few more veggies to put on the top there. Now, this dish, with mine, you save 205 calories and 24 grams of fat. So this whole thing is only 431 calories and 11 grams of fat, a huge saving off the original. Party foods tend to add up quickly. You end up eating way more than you would if you sat down and actually had an entire meal, because you're picking from this and you're picking from that. So trust me, this is a great way to watch what you eat. Now, you're probably thinking that sushi rolls are a really intimidating thing to make. They may sound intimidating, but they're surprisingly easy. So don't go away, because when I come back, I'm going to show you my no-cheat California rolls. Welcome back. I'm Devin Alexander. You'll be the hit of any party if you bring along a platter of California rolls. They're inexpensive but impressive and incredibly easy to make. I've already started making some California rolls here. I have some crab. I use the imitation crab, which is often found in sushi bars. Plus, it's really inexpensive. So you can make a huge platter of these things for like $10. And then when you get to the party, everyone's going to think you spent like $100. Okay, so I have this in here. I'm just going to pulse it a little more. You just want to do this until the crab sticks together. This is my little trick for not needing as much mayonnaise, because you have to get the crab together, otherwise the rolls will fall apart. Just a little bit more. Alrighty, get that out of there. Now I'm going to mix this with some mayonnaise, light mayonnaise. I often use light or low fat. Oh, and I might as well get some wasabi while I'm here too. Okay. Light mayonnaise, I only use 1/4 cup. So again, it's really important that you process it enough. Get that out of there. Yeah, bowl. All right, put it in there. These pretty pink rolls are, as I said, such a hit at the party. Any party. So I have a friend who's a stuntman. He lives on a boat, and we always have boat parties, and these are great things to do. It's also great if you're going to a party to take the imitation crab or some shrimp rolls that are already cooked. You don't want to be carrying raw food around a lot. These will stay fresher a lot longer. I'm going to add my 1/4 cup of mayonnaise here to about 1.5 pounds of crab. So in the end, in 4 rolls, it's only like a tablespoon of mayonnaise per roll. Get that all mixed up nicely. It's funny, I am the biggest sushi fan, which is kind of ironic because before I moved to Los Angeles, I had never even tried sushi, and the whole idea of it just did not seem appealing to me at all. Who's eating raw fish is what I was thinking, and I really didn't want to try it. And then I dated this guy who was a master scuba diver, and he would teach a woman who owned a sushi bar how to dive. And they would go down and get fresh fish every day. So when we got home at night, we would go to the restaurant and they would let us try all these things that they caught, and it just felt so much safer to eat it. It was just picked, you know it's fresh. So then I got completely addicted to it, and it's like my favorite thing. That looks pretty good. Get that out of my way. Okay, and now for the rice. Now the first couple times you do this, it might seem a little complicated, but it's actually quite easy once you get used to it. You'll be doing it all the time and impressing your friends. I'm going to put some rice wine vinegar in here, and then some sugar and some salt. Get rid of these. And I'm just gonna whisk that together until the sugar's dissolved. Get the little sugar crystals out of there. As I said, I've just become such a big fan of sushi, almost because, I mean, in addition to the fact that I just love this, but even at sushi bars, because you're eating raw fish, you know that the chef isn't adding any sort of oil or anything to your food because it's just the raw fish. Although you do have to be careful, some of the rolls actually have a lot of mayonnaise in them, so don't opt for those. That's looking good there. And now I just take my wooden spoon and I spread this evenly over this. And then the rice will stick together. Get a little more in there. Mix that up and get this great sticky rice. And for all the specifics on these recipes and all sorts of healthy tips and tricks, go to discoveryhealth.com. Mix that up nicely. Then we're gonna put these together. So you start by putting your mat on the board. Get that out of my way. And then you take your sheet of nori, it's seaweed paper. And then you just put your rice. Now you wanna wet your hands. You can either have a bowl like this, or sometimes it's easier to use the sink, but today I think I'm just gonna do this. And then I wanna add 1 cup of rice. Sometimes when you get sushi, you'll notice there's a ton of rice and very little fish. That's not so good. Now, I don't ever restrict my carbs per se. I think it's important to me, at least, to have carbs in my diet, but I don't want tons and tons and tons. So what I do is just, put a little more fish in my food so I get the proteins. When you do this, you want to sprinkle the rice evenly over the roll before you start pressing it, because it'll make it a lot easier in the end to get it completely covered. Okay, my hands are getting a little sticky again, so I'm just going to dip that in there. I think I'm going to put a little kick of wasabi on that. This is like it's kind of in the same family as horseradish. Gives it a kick, so you don't want to use too much of this, but I love spicy food, so I'm going to put a little more than you might want to. But you just do that to taste. Rub it over there. You've probably seen the sushi chefs do this in sushi bars. They just put the little speck on the piece of sushi. Okay. And then my crab. Now, I put plenty of crab on here, as I said. There we go, a little bit more. I cover about 1/3 of it. Okay. Nice big rolls here. And then you can use cucumber or avocado in here. Both are traditional, or you could use both. If you're using the avocado, the cucumber, of course, doesn't have many calories or fat at all. But the avocado, I like to say, great for your heart, not so great for your hips. So if you don't have a lot of fat in your diet, it's a great way to get some good fat in there. But if you're like me and you're worried about your hips getting too big, then don't want to use too much. So I'm going to use some cucumber. Just put 1 slice on there. Clean off my hands one more time. And then you just roll this like so. Just roll so that this side hits the rice, and then just continue to roll through. Making sure that it's tight, because if it's not tight, again, it's going to fall apart when you slice it. Got that? Little crab oozes out the side, which I love. It's always nice if there's a big mound of crab there, instead of the last piece having no crab. Okay, a little bit more cleanup here. This is a messy process, but again, this is another recipe to get your kids to do. All right, now we're just going to slice this up. Get your knife wet too, that helps. You want to cut this into about 12 pieces. You know, it's actually funny. There's this sauce called ponzu sauce that's like a soy sauce, but it has more citrus in it, a little bit of lemon or lime, depending how they make it. And I love sushi so much and always wanted to go for sushi for lunch so much that one of my friends started calling me Ponzu Princess, which I guess that's kind of cute, right? Get that cut up. Great. I'm just going to plate this up. As I said, very messy today. All right. And I have this pretty Asian plate here. Just fan these out. How delicious does that look? And then there's a lot of options to do this. You can add unagi sauce, which is the sauce you traditionally find on eel if you've seen that on sushi bars. It's dark like this. Or sometimes I'll put some chili garlic sauce mixed in with the crab. That makes it even spicier. Well, of course, I want dessert too. So when I come back, I'm gonna make my strawberry angel trifle. It's so easy, you'll love it. So make sure you stay tuned. Whoever came up with the idea to put a basket of munchies in your hotel room, genius. I mean, who can resist? You're sitting there with the television, it's late at night, and it's staring you in the face. You would never store that there at home. Well, you have to go prepared. When you go to a hotel, if you know you have salty cravings, pack some pretzels or some jerky. If you know you might have some sweet cravings, pack some dried fruit or natural food bars. That way, when the craving hits, you know you're covered. And when you check in, you can ask them to take the basket right out of your room. That way, you know you're safe, even if the midnight munchies strike. Welcome back. I'm Devin Alexander. I've given you 2 great alternatives for saving yourself unwanted calories at parties. Thai noodle salad with grilled chicken and no-cheat California rolls. Now let's satisfy that sweet tooth with my strawberry angel trifle that I'm already in progress with. I already put about 2/3 of an angel food cake that I just bought at a store, ripped it up and put it in the bowl. And then I'm going to add about 2 containers of strawberries and sauce. You can buy these in the grocery store in the freezer section, and then you just defrost it. And then about 2/3 of a container of fat-free frozen whipped topping. And also, you want to make sure this one's defrosted too. There we go. You know, a lot of people tell me that they're afraid to have parties because they think they're going to gain weight because of all the fattening food. But I make food for my friends all the time that isn't fattening at all, for one thing. And, you know, then when they find out that it's low fat after they've already eaten it and you tell them that, they just think that it's the greatest thing in the world and they love you even more. This is one of those dishes that's nice and messy too, very fun. And again, another dish that kids can do. Most of my recipes are so easy that you can get your kids involved right away. Okay, then I'm just gonna take the rest of the cake. Actually, I think I'm gonna put a little more syrup in here to make this a little more red and pretty. Then I'm gonna put the rest of the cake. So there was this woman who wrote to me and she said that she felt like she couldn't have dinner parties anymore because she was really heavy. And that's when she'd gain weight. Like after her guests left, she'd have this whole refrigerator full of chocolate and all sorts of stuff. And I said, you know, I used to have that problem too. You know how you're standing in your house and sometimes there's chocolate in your refrigerator and you just feel like there's this toe in the ocean pulling you toward the chocolate. I hate that. So what I used to do when I was trying to lose weight is I'd ask someone to bring the chocolate dessert, a really close friend who you feel you can confide in, ask them to bring it and then say, when you leave the party, can you make sure you take it with you? Give it to a homeless person or just take it home yourself. So then when my guests left, I had this great evening and I didn't have to feel the pull to the refrigerator and argue with myself, you can have that, you can have that, you can have that. I want this nice and full. And again, I was using the fat-free frozen whipped topping, so almost no fat in this. And this is just the hugest hit. Put it in there, a little bit more. And then I just save a few strawberries for the very top. Get the rest of my whipped cream layered in this. And this layer, I don't stir around. I just like to keep it all nice and pretty on the top. There we go. And you can eat a whole cup of this. So, virtually no fat and very few calories. And just go to discoveryhealth.com to get all the specifics on the fat, the calories. You can get sodium, all the other nutritional information you want. Even cholesterol's there. And lots of healthy cooking tips and tricks. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. There you go. Put those on top. I'm just gonna the rest of the juice. And when I come back, it's time to party. Welcome back. I'm Devin Alexander. Today, I showed you a few easy but impressive recipes that you can take along to any party. When you get there, even if everything else is deep fried, you'll have something healthy to eat. First, I put together a Thai peanut noodle salad with grilled chicken. With this recipe, you save 205 calories and 24 grams of fat. I love the spiciness of that and the crunchiness of the vegetables. And then I made my no-cheat California rolls. There, a 6-piece serving, you'll save 270 calories and 9 grams of fat. And then, last but not least, dessert. The sweet and simple strawberry angel trifle, you'll save 133 calories and 20 grams of fat. Remember, just because it tastes great doesn't mean it can't be good for you. I'll see you next time.